I keep giving bad people good ideas.
Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today's video we are going to be talking about Killing Floor, doing our final little series wrap up of our little reviews. Pretty much it was a little review series I did, so pretty much I individually reviewed like Killing Floor 1. Oh, fuck, I can't even write with the fucking mouse. Such a struggle. I don't know how people do it. I know they have like little drawing pads, but some people actually can draw with the mouse. I don't know how the fuck they do it. But then also I reviewed Killing Floor 2. I forgot the F. It's just like K1. What the fuck does that mean? Killing Floor 1, Killing Floor 2, and then, you know, I ended it, like, at least my individual reviews on Killing Floor 3. Those videos, it's worth checking out because, again, I did more an individual review of each game and kind of focus on the game itself than really try and compare, like, Killing Floor 1 to Killing Floor 3, or Killing Floor 1 to Killing Floor 2, and Killing Floor 2 to like, you know, that's kind of what this video is kind of all for. And we're going to be going over, obviously, like, graphics, gameplay, fucking maps, and then obviously, you know, maps fall under kind of gameplay content and just like the microtransactions as well, because again, the microtransactions are not terrible. It's not like on some COD level like terrible shit, but it is slowly seeping into the game, and it is kind of interesting to see. Hopefully it doesn't become some cancerous tumor like it does for most games. And we're not going to be obviously all just in Photoshop the whole time. I just thought it might be an interesting little creative twist on the video, and it might just be a little nice to write out some bullet points and shit like that for the video. But pretty much, first thing first, I would say, well, graphics with Killing Floor 1, and I don't know how to explain this enough, but without showing gameplay like I'm gonna show in a bit. But with Killing Floor 1, it's like it nailed the horror aspect, even though it came out in 2009. And I'll go kind of more in depth of why I feel like it kind of capitalized that. As I feel like in Killing Floor 2, I'm not too sure when I would want to. I don't know. I'm not gonna try to write out the date of release. I don't have that memorized. But, Killing Floor 2 was more kind of like Killing Floor 1, but more polished graphics, gameplay, everything. As Killing Floor 3 kind of tried to capitalize Killing Floor 2, but slowly is kind of failing at that. Like, it's, I don't know how to explain it. It's getting there. I have hopes, but right now, I would say Killing Floor 2 is kind of peak of the series right now. That I don't know how to explain it. It just more maps. Even Killing Floor 1, I think, has more maps than Killing Floor 3. And again, it did come out way long ago. It did have a complete cycle, but it is kind of sad that somehow Killing Floor 1 has more maps. Even I feel like it has more content if it comes down to like guns, again, like I said, maps and stuff. Also the microtransactions with these two games, it was really introduced in Killing Floor 2. Killing Floor 2, it was cool. So in Killing Floor 2, you say you bought like the Killing Floor season pass or whatever, even though it wasn't like a season pass. It just kind of gave you guns and stuff. But what was nice is you unlocked everything. And you were able to use everything. Like, you didn't have to unlock anything. You didn't have to do any bullshit. As with Killing Floor 3's season pass, I could kind of give it a little bit of respect. It's more of a season pass. But then you have to unlock everything in the I don't know. That is not a straight line. In the KF 3 season pass, you have to pretty much, you know, play the game, unlock these tokens, and then unlock each little unlock. Which again, that's like the point of a season pass. and it's not that bad, and it's not like the worst thing to complain about compared to what some games do, like COD. But knowing that in fucking Killing Floor you just had, or Killing Floor 2, you had free unlocks, and this is just a jumbled mess now, and we'll probably jump to some gameplay now. But yeah, we might jump back to making another little diagram like this, but it's actually insane that it's like you had these free unlocks and you just bought it. It was like buying a DLC and you had everything right from the get-go. Now you have to unlock it and you're paying for it. And it's just kind of like, I get the point. It gets you to play the game. It gets you to have a reason to kind of play the game. Gives you unlocks. But it's just kind of stupid because it's like, in a way, if I just clear this all up and give myself some space. Holy crap. I wrote so much junk. But it was like pretty much we took DLCs, in which you pretty much got everything. You got maps, guns, you didn't have to unlock, and pretty much turned it into, from free unlocks to, okay, you have to pay, and then you have to, it's pretty much pay to play. I'm not trying to like dog Killing Floor. A lot of games do this. Fucking Fortnite, Call of Duty, and it's just kind of annoying. It's like, if I'm gonna give you like 20 or 30 bucks, just give me all the guns and the maps. I don't want to have to try and unlock all of them. But again, I do kind of get it, why. It kind of gives you a reason to play the game, gives you motivation to play the game. It's kind of a neat little aspect, it gives you little extra things to unlock. But it's just, I don't know, it's just kind of stupid. I don't know. I would at least say with Killing Floor 2, that was not a season pass. They should have called it like DLC. It would have made shit a little less confusing. I guess we'll call that the drawing board if I ever use that ever in future videos and throughout this video. But pretty much, we'll go down the like little list I made, like graphics, gameplay, maps, and stuff like that, and kind of section the video off that. So first thing, graphics. I don't like what I was going over in the very start of this video is like the graphics. Again, they improved, and I can't really you can't really complain and be like, fuck, wow, the graphics looking better, you know? You can't really complain about that, but I would say Killing Floor 1 does take the cake on the gritty horror aspect that Killing Floor 1 peaked at. And I feel like Killing Floor 2, gameplay wise and shit, since it's a fully fledged game, that's like the one thing, the biggest key difference between Killing Floor 2 and Killing Floor 3 is Killing Floor 3 is not a fully fledged game yet, which is kind of sad and pathetic to say because the game released like a year ago or almost over a year ago. Like, dude, it's almost hitting 2 years, and this game is lacking the fuck out of content. But with the benefit of the doubt, the game is still fun. I do like Killing Floor 3. I do have hopes, and the hopes are in that if they release maps and that they release guns and content for this game, that it hopefully people will have a drive to be like, oh, I'll check this out, I'll play this. Because the thing is, I feel like it's popping on console because like, again, I think you could get Killing Floor 2 on console. I'm not 100% sure, but I think I saw something like that. Correct me if I'm wrong. But, Killing Floor 3, it does kind of succeed with the cross-platform. And again, people do play on PC. It's not as popular on PC, but like I was saying, it's pretty popular on console. And, I do feel like the console fan base is kind of saving this game, at least for the meantime, again, till, like I said, they fix out quirks, and kind of just, really, they just need to put in content into this game, because, again, this game does succeed, Killing Floor 3, and I'm talking about, it succeeds Killing Floor 2 graphically. Again, Killing Floor 2 was like a polished Killing Floor 1. We got better graphics, better gameplay, just better bots, better, like, AI computer like system, like, you know, mapping, whatever, and better maps, better content and shit. And then with Killing Floor 2, like I was saying, there was that introduction into microtransactions and shit. Luckily, with Tripwire, they're not the most AIDS company ever when it comes to this. They don't shove it down your face. Yes, they have skin packs and all this shit you can buy. But really, at the end of the fuck English. At the end of the day, I don't think it's the worst thing. Like, a company does need to make money. Again, they put all the time and work and money into a game, and they know, hey, we can make some extra money doing these little skin packs. Fuck it, why not? You know, if you got the extra money to spend $5 on a skin pack, go ahead, go fucking do it. But what I'm just trying to say is, again, Killing Floor 1, it just kind of peaks with, you know, no microtransaction bullshit, really, or it's very subtle. Again, those little DLC weapon packs you can buy and stuff, or like the complete edition, whatever. And, again, that's pretty worth it. I kind of like it. And like I said, with Killing Floor 2, it kind of balances weapons out. And sorry, I just need to get a drink. My throat just feels a little dry. But again, with Killing Floor 1 and 2, it's crazy to me. With Killing Floor 1, not all of the guns from Killing Floor 1 made it to Killing Floor 2. Correct me again if I'm wrong, but majority of the Killing Floor 1 guns made it to Killing Floor 2, like the flame dual revolver pistols and stuff. I think those are called the Spitfires or whatever. Those made it to Killing Floor 2 from Killing Floor 1. They balanced them a bit, made them a little less OP and shit. But again, those are non-existent in Killing Floor 3. And I feel like those are, like, not the staple, but they are, like, staple guns in the Killing Floor series. Especially if you're gonna have it in the first game as a DLC weapon, and then release it as a main gun in the next game. And then fucking, it's gone in Killing Floor 3. It's probably gonna be a DLC, sadly, but like, again, it's just kind of stupid because, again, they already had this collection of guns that you can pull from. They had these collection of guns they could pull into Killing Floor 3, and do they do that? No. And again, they could be kind of greedy with it down the road and just make it DLC weapons and shit. But again, at the same time, it just, either way, not having it in the game, and then, or just not having it at least at a DLC ready to go, it's just kind of stupid. It's like, it's one thing to have it as microtransactions, and that's stupid, but to have it non-existing in the game whatsoever is even dumber. It's like, bruh, what the fuck are you doing? Then we're going to maps. Killing Floor 1 maps, they're pretty good. I wouldn't say they're like the best maps ever. They're more... Sorry, I got a little congested. I don't know. I just had to burp a little, but I didn't want to burp straight up into the mic. But luckily, it wasn't a huge burp. But like what I was saying, is all workshop maps. I would say Killing Floor 2 again kind of takes the cake with the maps. There are some crazy cool maps that you can see in the gameplay that like will teleport you to the buy station and all this crazy cool stuff. And hopefully when they do finally release modded maps or mod support into Killing Floor 3, they keep saying they will at the end of this year. Hopefully they do soon, and hopefully when they do release mod support, the biggest thing is hopefully people are gonna want to release mods for this game. And like I said in my Killing Floor review video of Killing Floor 3, definitely go check it out. Each video I go more in depth in the game than like in this video where I'm comparing them. But pretty much with Killing Floor 3, it's kind of crazy to me that they're gonna try add all these like mod support and mods and all this, but then have it cross-platform. Because why I think it's a little crazy is because a lot of games that try do this kind of fail in the long run, or it ends up not being, like, they're not able to end up having mod support really for consoles. So, and theoretically, Killing Floor 3 can maybe only have mod support for PC, and if that's true, it's gonna fuck up the cross-platform, and it's gonna leave a big, section of the, player base without a big chunk of content. And also, like, the main player base, because again, this game's kinda dead on PC, at least, compared to Killing Floor 2. But also, it could maybe save the game. And again, like, if they could pull it off right, well, the mod support can be cross-platform, like, again, the game itself, and PC players can develop mods and upload it. Then they could make a version for console, maybe not as, like, strong or as in depth, but they could make their own maps, make their own, like, basic mods and upload them, and let PC players download them as well, and then have them download PC made maps and mods. That'd be really cool. But again, we're gonna have to see where they go with that. And again, I just feel like, really, at the end of this whole comparison, it's kind of, like, obvious. Killing Floor 2 it's kind of peak right now. Everyone's kind of playing that. It's kind of a more polished, clean up, nice version of Killing Floor 1. It's kind of, again, the most polished Killing Floor, at least, released to date. And then since it's a fully fledged game, they finally released all the content they're gonna release for the game. It has a lot of content, and again, feels the most out of all the games, fully fleshed, and, like, really good, and kind of, has everything, you kind of expect out of a Killing Floor game. As Killing Floor 1 was kind of, the testing grounds, and then Killing Floor 3 is kind of I would say it's more like it's in beta, but then they're advertising it, I'm pretty sure. Like, I don't even think it's early access. I think they're advertising it. Sorry, I bumped the mic. But, yeah, I think they're advertising it as a full game. Yeah, not even early access. I would say Killing Floor 3 is more of an early access. And it's crazy because, yeah, they're on the year 2 roadmap. Year 2. 2 years this game has been out. Not even a year. I was giving it some slack earlier. So, it's struggling a little bit. I would just say a little bit. But I would definitely say with that, I wouldn't say, run away, don't buy this game, it's not worth it. I would say it's definitely worth your time, and it's definitely worth checking out, and it's definitely worth to have in your library, and just wait for updates, and when updates come out, check out the updates, see what you like and what you don't like. And again, I feel like with this game, they at least have the foundation for Killing Floor 3, and now they'll kind of try and build up the walls, building up the floors, kind of adding in the furnishings of the floors and stuff like that, if that makes sense. If Killing Floor 3 is like one big ass building, and hopefully it doesn't fucking, what happens with big buildings usually sometimes. Hopefully that doesn't happen with Killing Floor 3, and hopefully it doesn't end up in a terrible disaster of a game. I have hopes. I feel like Killing Floor 3, hopefully down the road, does kind of pick it up and kind of, win the hearts of people that are stuck on Killing Floor 2. I don't think Killing Floor 2 is ever going to be a dead game. I feel like it has a pretty strong fan base. And I feel like people are always going to go back to it. Similar to, like, Killing Floor 1. Like, people always go back to playing Killing Floor 1. I do it all the time for many reasons. Like I said, it nails that nitty-gritty fucking horror aspect that Killing Floor 1, I feel like, kind of capitalizes in the whole Killing Floor series compared to any other Killing Floor game. And kind of, oh my god, my phone keeps going off. I'm throwing that bitch across the room. But, pretty much, like I was saying, is, like, it kind of capitalized and kind of gave Killing Floor that horror identity. And you could kind of see that in Killing Floor 2 and 3, it kind of loses that a bit. And it's nice to go back and play those. But again, with Killing Floor 1, it's kind of their first project and their first game. So it feels slightly a little janky, I'm not going to lie, compared to playing like Killing Floor 2. But again, like I would say, with my final capitalization of this video, I would say buy every fucking Killing Floor. Sounds fucking insane. They're all worth it. They all have their quirks and their nice and their fucking ups and their lows. But either way, I would say if you're gonna try to be on a budget, definitely get Killing Floor 2. And then I would say down the road, get Killing Floor 1. And then if you're kind of hesitant about Killing Floor 3, it's definitely worth getting. But I would say maybe, like I said, get Killing Floor 2, definitely. Then maybe Killing Floor 1, check it out. And if you really like Killing Floor 2 and 1, I would say then check out Killing Floor 3. Because oh my god, English, can I speak? Killing Floor 3 is more of a work in progress. So if you're already kind of a hardcore, dedicated fan to Killing Floor 3, and kind of can see that it is a work in progress, and that you kind of are just going to wait for updates and kind of see where the game goes, definitely it's worth it. And I would say it's worth it to get it on sale. Do not buy this game full price, at least Killing Floor 3. Because like I said, it's not really a fully fledged game. It's more like an early access game, though it's definitely a lot they need to add into the game. And they're on their year 2 roadmap, and it's not struggling, but it's still like, damn, these things should have been added at release or within the first year, but they won't. So yeah, either way, it is what it is. But again, I would say it's not like, oh shit, the trailer started blasting in my ears. But I wouldn't say it's a lost hope. I would say it's definitely worth checking out, but definitely make sure you like the series first before you jump into it. I would say if you buy Killing Floor 3 and that's your first Killing Floor you ever tried out, it's a 50-50. You're going to like Killing Floor and really want to check out the other games. I would say a good way to get a good taste of Killing Floor and the whole series and what to expect out of a good Killing Floor game is playing Killing Floor 2. Then for nostalgia and just seeing the roots, is checking out Killing Floor 1's good. It's really good for that. And then obviously Killing Floor 3, like I said, it's kind of more of a work in progress. It's kind of weird. I would say just wait until you could get the whole series for sale. They usually on Steam throw a whole bunch of sales, and sometimes you could cop the game for 50% off, like I did. I copped Killing Floor 3 for 50% off. I'm pretty sure I copped Killing Floor 2 and 1 for 50% off. And again, like Killing Floor 3 is $40. If you could get it for 50% off, it's $20. Like I said, it's more of like, kind of has that early access feeling than a full complete game, as they are trying to kind of advertise it to be, not trying to shit on Trip or Wild, but like, it should be more advertised as early access than, oh, it's this ready to go game, because they're still working on this game, but whatever. Killing Floor 2 is normally $30. If you wait till the summer sale, you could get that for like 90% off. Or any like Killing Floor sale, but normally like summer sales and Steam sales, you could get it for 90% off and get it for like $2.99. Same with Killing Floor 1, it's $20. If you wait for a big sale, like a big Killing Floor sale or a big Steam sale, you could get that game for $1.99. So with Killing Floor 1, knowing that game came out in 2009, it's kind of good to wait till, you know, you could get the game for $2. Killing Floor 2 is kind of 50-50 because, again, it's a really good game, and I would say it's worth the $30. But again, if you could wait a month or a couple months and get the game for $2 or $3, you might as well do that. So, yeah, I don't know. That's kind of how I navigate Steam and playing games and shit. I just wait till there's like a 30% or 50% sale on the game, then I'll buy it. So thank you, Gaben. And besides that, if you're on console and you gotta pay full price, haha, fucking nerd. Besides that, like, subscribe, turn on notifications, and I'll see you guys all in the next one. Bye, guys.